But I do feel that there's a stigma towards oral people groups or oral-based cultures, that they're not as intelligent because they don't do things or learn things in that same way. So one of the practical things is to unlearn, not like we can't unlearn what we learned, but understand that there are other paradigms out there, and unlearn insofar as we don't project upon other people that this is the way they have to do things, have to hear the gospel, have to be trained in discipleship, have to be trained in theology, and just understand that communication is much more fluid.
And one of the questions I think is challenging is are we actually communicating in ways that our communities communicate? Or, like me, am I actually bringing kind of how I was taught to communicate, and am I trying to import that with good intentions, but am I trying to import that into either what I'm teaching or my outreach or my disciple making, which I think oftentimes that happens. So part of the joy of walking into the kind of the orality journey and experience over the last few years for me has been trying to kind of reposition my own heart to say, how do I rethink not just how I communicate or relate with God's word? How do I begin to consider how other people relate with God and his word, and what is most natural for them?
Many of us in classrooms, professors, students of master's programs and doctoral studies programs, we have billions and billions of bits of information that we can consume in forms that are normalized to us. And so when we begin to understand that oral people haven't lived in centuries of books and their influences, that they haven't had, many of them haven't had decades to adjust to a new digital universe, that presents challenges. Being with them doesn't undo our communication models, our preferences. And so if we're going to be other person oriented by honoring God, by honoring them and following God's first and second commands, we need to learn how they hear and understand, how they understand and take something inside and process it. And if we're going to start that way, then it's going to be a challenge for us.
The challenge of time and getting things done quickly, I think that is one barrier. And of course, the stigma. We are a literate society. We write everything down. We have our systematic theology, our evangelism courses, missiology. That is not the only way to do things. And the early church did not have those things, and they did just fine. And so that for us is, I think, a lesson to maybe not put on the pedestal too much all the systems we've built up over the centuries.
I want people to be as literate as possible. I have had a huge advantage going to a PhD level because of my literacy. But the fact is, I don't see huge changes in this world. We're going to keep being in a situation with highly oral people. And our focus has usually been on literate type people, and we've done a good job. If we want to finish, we need to focus on the majority world and make sure that we're teaching them that the way they learn.
In some ways, orality gets shortchanged, if I can say it that way, because we think of orality as being something oftentimes merely in a pragmatic sense. Okay, do these people read or not? And if they don't, how do I could try storytelling, or we could do music, or maybe I could do something with the arts. But it ends up being very pragmatic centered. And I want to say, not that any of that's wrong, it's just very narrow. And how can we reframe it and recognize, oh, actually, what we're doing in any sort of missional aspect is we're trying to invite people into an interpersonal relationship with Jesus where they can hear his voice and respond in obedience.
But oral people still need relationship. So one of the challenges that we're facing this month, for example, in a language project that we have, is that when they hear the computerized voice, it doesn't sound like anyone they know. And when it doesn't sound like anyone they know, our partners are having a hard time trusting. This is a very different voice with a very different tone. They can't put their finger on why they're having a hard time understanding why they need to listen to this computer. When they have, for example, one of us just right there in front of us, we could go have a cup of tea and share some chai or have a coffee and talk this out? Why is a computer required?
I very much am invested in neurality. I believe it's very powerful. But what I think needs to happen is we need to change how we understand the concept. So looking instead of just as this is how they think to this is actually how God made all of us.